My brothers and sisters, I've started to understand why Muslims don't drink or do any drugs. The strict ones, anyway. And why the religion actually states that that is very important. Now, I've spent a long time on my journey trying to understand these very intricate, difficult behaviors and religious studies that before made no sense to me. Before I was like, what is this garbage? Who's come up with all this religion stuff? Someone came up with it thousands of years ago. Come on, let's all modernize ourselves. We've got all this science and all this technology, and you're still going to listen to those people that wrote those books all those thousands of years ago? I thought it was garbage, and I really didn't believe in any of it. Now, I'm starting to understand. Why I'm starting to understand is a whole YouTube video in itself. Now I understand that in order to get closer to God, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Catholic, Christian, Hindu, Sikh, doesn't matter what religion you are, we all seem to believe in one God of some sort. In Christianity, they call it the Holy Spirit. In order for you to get closer to the Holy Spirit, in order for you to get closer to God, to feel God, and it isn't necessarily someone or an entity that you're looking out into the universe for. It actually exists within you. God actually exists inside of you. God exists all around you. He exists, he, she, it, not sure exactly what to call God, an entity, a deity, exists everywhere. In the air that we breathe, all around us, in every particle of the universe. You see, I was very big on science for many years, and I was a big atheist. And what I started to learn from all my journeys on my scientific discovery is that there are some things we just cannot explain. There are some things we cannot explain. For everything else, there is science. Now, at the Hadron Collider in Geneva, when they fired two protons at each other at the speed of light, when they collided, something miraculous happened. There was a particle that came off the collision called the Higgs boson, what they now call the God particle. Now, they called it this because they've never come across this before. They couldn't understand that there was something that existed in the universe that they couldn't explain. That when the tiniest things we know, protons, were smashed together, that there would be a particle that would come off those protons, and it would be something we've never discovered before. It was like the string or the element that makes the protons, that makes everything. That's why they called it the God particle. And that is why not only would you understand it if you read the science, but you would also understand it if you started getting closer to God. Now, some strange things have happened to me over the past year since I moved to America. I met certain individuals, one in particular, who brought me much closer to religion and understanding and God himself. Now, he's quite a Christian Catholic guy. He's a very religious guy. And he performed exorcisms in front of me. And I didn't think I'd ever believe in that kind of stuff. These are things I'm going to talk about a lot more in my videos and on my channel. You know, this is all part of masculinity. Understanding these things is extremely important to being a strong male with strong willpower. Because being a strong man, you are not alone. It isn't just other men that are with you. It is God that's also inside of you and that helps you along this journey. All the men and the great men from thousands of years ago who went on their crusades, who went on a long journey, who went to explore, they knew that they weren't alone. And they always said, by the grace of God. They always said things that were related to God, something religious. God will give me justice. God will guide me to where I need to go. And now I'm starting to understand why they did that. And now I'm starting to understand why Islam, in its truest nature, forbids you to drink and to take drugs. Because the alcohol and the drugs take you further away from God. And actually, the essence of a human being, your actual sober essence, once you eradicate the insecurities, the fear, the anxiety, the pain, the destruction, once you eradicate all of those things and you see the light, you feel the light, and you feel the calling to make the right moves in this life and to move with grace and love and care, like I am on my mission and my purpose now, why I started posting every day on this channel, there was some kind of calling from God himself saying, my son, go and help the lost children. Go and put your information out to the world. I have blessed you with everything you've ever needed. Money, looks, power, abundance of family, an abundance of everything. You must now help me spread my word and spread my love. That is what I feel God has said to me. And so I have a duty to all of you to help you understand that you get closer to God by being sober and by eradicating everything that's holding you back from living your purest life. Fear, anxiety, all of the above, destruction, toxication, the wrong people in your life. All of these horrid things that happen in our world. And our world is a very dark place at times. Where there is good, there is evil. Where there is light, there is darkness. Both have existed since the dawn of time. Now, I used to think the world was all well and good and everything was good and everyone only wanted the best for all of us. And that's not true. There are some real evil people in our world. And let me tell you, I know what side I represent. I know what side I represent. I represent the light. And if you would like to walk in the light, then you will walk with me. A strong male who feels that he's going to lead the lost children towards the light, to show other people so that they can carry the baton themselves in the future and spread the word, spread the message, bring people to the light, have the spirit within them, be happy, build beautiful families, build beautiful communities. Away from this darkness that we experience, that we see on the news, the bombings, the wars. It's horrific. It breaks my heart to see this stuff. I try not to watch the news. I've had enough of seeing bad news. They want to plow you with this bad news to scare you, to put you in fear all the time, rather than to put you in abundance. I don't watch the news. I'm abundant. I feel, I understand, I will get everything I've ever wanted. And I got everything I ever wanted, and now I want more, because this is just what happens. The masculine man is an ambitious man and is in constantly evolving and constantly sets new goals. So, when I used to laugh at Muslims and when I used to say, these delusional people, look at me having a great time, drinking, taking all these drugs. And let me reassure you, I still dabble in alcohol. Last night I had a couple of cocktails with this beautiful woman in Budapest. I went on a date last night to a lovely cocktail bar. Yes, I had a couple of cocktails. Yes, I will indulge in drugs from time to time. Because I enjoy the full range of emotion and full range of perspective that this universe and this world has allowed me to do. I like to explore and to have fun and to do all these different things to feel what it actually feels like to take these drugs. And don't get me wrong, I've had some of the best nights of my life on drugs. The best nights of my life. I mean, I don't want to get cancelled, so I don't want to sit here and talk about every single drug I've taken and the experiences I've had. But at some point, I tell you what, I will, and it will be worth it. And if I get cancelled, then so be it, because the truth is much more important to me than hiding this shit from society. People need to know. There are particular drugs that actually get me closer to God, and that is why I take them. And I'll save that for another video. But I'll give you a tip. They are natural drugs that have existed since the dawn of time. They've existed since before humans walked on this planet. Even before we'd been evolved. Those natural substances existed on our planet before we even evolved. So I know that I am supposed to, as a man, dabble, engage with them, understand from them, and then be able to move forward and make my own conclusions, okay? However, I understand the Muslims. I understand Islam now. That they tell you to keep away from alcohol. It will veer you away from God. Keep away from drugs. It will veer you away from God. You may be tempted by the devil. You will be tempted into doing evil things, thinking evil thoughts. It will suppress your mind. It will make you feel like shit about yourself. You'll be hungover. You'll be depressed the next day. Chemicals that they make in laboratories. You don't know. You don't have any control over this stuff. Alcohol has existed for hundreds of years. Humans have been drinking alcohol for hundreds of years. You know the effects of alcohol. You feel all merry there and then. But when you're drunk, you have no control. You lose control. The next day you're hungover. You've been poisoned. We're drinking poison. And that is why they tell you, if you want to get closer to God and you want to understand and feel God inside of you, you must first eradicate all of these drugs and this alcohol from your life. You need to go sober. You need to do the beautiful natural things. The reason why I'm so full of energy this morning is because I went for a run with my top off in Budapest when it was 6 degrees centigrade. It was cold and I ran with my top off and I ran till I was tired and exhausted. And the endorphins that buzzed through my body were incredible endorphins. And they boosted my energy. And I had a coffee about an hour ago. I'm not sure if you call caffeine a drug. It might be described as a drug, but it gave me this burst of energy to then come to my office here in Budapest, a lovely little office that I've got here for the month, and to produce this content for you. And to, as I was walking, I realized, I said, God, you've made me realize why we're not supposed to indulge in these substances. To get closer to you, we are supposed to stay sober and supposed to stay clear and be able to think in our own hearts and in our own minds with clarity. And clarity means no anxiety, no paranoia, no worry about the past, no worry about the future. Just understanding the present moment. You live here on this planet now. You are alive. You exist. You exist for a reason. God is with all of us. There is an absence of God in the evil people. Of course, Satan has infiltrated people's hearts and minds. Satan exists and the devil is dangerous. And if the devil looked into my eyes, he would burn. He would burn there and then, because I have the eyes of God and I will follow the light and I am a disciple of God. And now I understand over the past year. Now I understand what my presence is. Now I understand what my purpose is. Now I hope some of you have resonated with me on this video. And if you have, please leave it in the comments. Now, some people are going to think I'm delusional and crazy, and I tell you what, of course, you have every right to think whatever you want. However, a man as accomplished as I am, and as intelligent as I am, that's had such a varied experience in this life, that's done everything he's needed to do, and will continue to do everything he needs to do, and is free to do whatever he wants, any country, any time, any moment, with anyone, anywhere, no restrictions, has been able to come to these beliefs and thoughts because I've experimented with my mind, I've experimented with my life, and I've got to this stage today to be able to deliver this information to you. I really enjoyed making this video. I could talk for hours about this stuff. And we'll have more of this content because it does relate to masculinity. It relates to the masculine energy, the masculine self, the man, and his task and his purpose and his mission, and the help that he will require from some sort of energy that's out there in the universe that's going to help him and push him along. It isn't just you. There is something helping you. It isn't just a community. It isn't just other human beings. Sometimes things really do happen for a reason. And again, that's something I didn't believe. But when you're open and clear enough to see with your own eyes, then you'll realize, that's strange that happened. God, did you put this here in front of me for a reason? Like, what's going on? This is some freaky stuff. And it's fascinating and it's beautiful. And so, to all my religious friends, to my non-religious friends, this video also applies to you. I'm sure a lot of Muslims will click on this video and be like, oh, what's this guy talking about? My friends, now I understand why you do what you do. And I adore what you do. And it's fascinating. And the purest of you are beautiful. Of course, the extremists cause problems. The extremists in any religion. The extreme Muslims that that terrorize and feel that killing people and they'll go to paradise, if they, obviously all the things like the suicide bombers and the terror, of course I don't agree with that stuff. But that's not Islam, my friends. That is not Islam. That is the devil. As they would call it in Islam, shaitan. Shaitan has infiltrated certain people's minds to perform evil because they think if they terrorize and they kill, they will go to heaven. There are promises. The Quran does not say that. It is a peaceful religion. It is a beautiful religion. And now I understand it piece by piece. I'm not saying I'm going to become a Muslim. You can encompass all of the religions. You can be all of them if you really want. I don't identify with any of them. I speak of God because he, she, I don't know. Don't quote me on the he, she, it. God is an energy that exists universally amongst this huge universe that we live in. And there's more to discover, and maybe we'll never know the answers. But what I do know is if you want to get closer to God, my friends, then put the alcohol down, put the drugs down, try and get sober, exercise, run, work your body, live in peace, meditate, be calm, sit in silence, and you will see that you may just have that feeling. You may feel God inside of you. And then hopefully you will resonate with this sort of content. Now, I love you all, and I only want the best for you. And I'm really enjoying making this content. And thank you to the new subscribers. And thank you to the wonderful comments that came in over my videos over the past couple of days. This just drives me to want to make more and more content. So you are my community, and I promise you that I will serve you from here on in. I'll see you in the next video.